What's up, guys? I'm CandidCrandell, and today I am filming a brand new segment for my channel that I like to call Spoiler Alert. Every Thursday I'm going to put out a video where I talk about what happened in The Bachelorette and Pretty Little Liars. If any of you watch these shows, down in the comments we can talk about everything that's happening and all these crazy fun things, and it'll be really, really fun, I think. There was a dodgeball group date where all the guys had to wear like super short shorts and knee-high socks. Brooks messed up his finger, and Brooks is one of my favorites, so I felt bad for him. I also noticed that he has a lot of teeth, like more than I feel like most people do. Maybe it's just like his smile is really big so we can see more of his teeth than you do on most people, but he has like... Hashtag Casey got the one-on-one date for this week. I'm just going to call him Hashtag Casey, even though he hasn't said anything about hashtags since the first episode. They've been doing in the previews all this stuff about some guy having a girlfriend who shows up. So I was hoping that it was going to be Ben's, because I don't like Ben. We'll get to that later. It ended up being Brian's girlfriend. If you don't know who Brian is, I don't blame you, because I didn't really know who he was. And then they showed him, and I was like, oh, Phantom of the Opera guy, because that's what he looks like to me. When Desiree gets one-on-one time with guys, they're having her have like private concerts. One singer up on the stage, and then like the couple down in front of the stage, slow dancing and like trying to have like an intimate moment, and there's like this one person just like standing here like singing like at them, and it's really, really awkward. Made a little flow chart. So we've got Des in the middle here, and she has kissed Brooks, Ben, Chris, Hashtag Casey, Juan Pablo, Bryden, James, and Brandon. Brandon is X'd out because Brandon actually ends up going home this week. They're all connected because eventually, if one of them gets mono, they're all getting mono. I would love to know how many times on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette they're like, all right, so we need to stop filming and get a doctor in here because there's been another mono outbreak. As I said earlier, I am not a fan of Ben. I don't like him. He has this smug Draco Malfoy face. He like stalked Des before she was able to get to the pool party, and like got in her car and was like, hey, can we hang out and go for a ride before you come in? And she's like, yeah, totally. I wouldn't have done that. When he comes back, all the guys are like, oh, what happened? What happened? And he's like, I don't kiss and tell. Whenever someone says to me, I don't kiss and tell, that is a complete and utter lie, because you just told me that you kissed that person by saying that you don't kiss and tell. I just feel like he is this season's tiara. I can't wait for someone to just like straight up say to Des, like, look, Ben is like the tiara of the house. And then I think it'll click for her and she'll send him home. Hopefully. 2 guys got sent home in addition to Brian, who got sent home earlier for being a lying, cheating bag of douche. Brandon, the really super emotional painter with daddy issues and who took care of his family. And Dan. I was really mad that Ben got the last rose because I was just like, I wanted her to give it to Brandon. Now we're gonna get to my favorite show of the week, Pretty Little Liars. Oh, so much happened! So much happened! The girls were opening up a trunk at the end of last season. When they open it up, they find a dead pig in it. Like, you're thinking it's gonna be a body. It's not a body. But then, the next day, they find out that Wilden is actually dead! And his body's next to the car, and it wasn't there when they were there at the car the other night. Oh my god. I really thought Wilden was involved, so I was kind of surprised that he was dead. I can't say that I'm going to miss him. Bye, Wilden. Allison De Laurentiis' mom is moving back to Rosewood. Why? And why is everyone thinking at the end of last season that they're seeing Allie and then suddenly her mom comes back? Something's happening. And it probably has to do with Allie. I think she's still alive. Spoiler alert. And like, she still has all of Allison's stuff and like is moving back into her house and like setting up Allison's room the way that it used to be set up, and she's like asking Emily to help her, and it's so weird. It's so weird. Toby and Spencer are back together. I think Toby is on their side, but I don't know. I want him to be, because I really like him and Spencer together. So we'll just leave it at that for right now. Ezra gets offered a permanent job teaching at Rosewood, which is terrible. He has a family to support now, and that means that him and Arya can't see each other, and I love Ezra and Arya together so much. So effing much. Vice Principal Hackett might be on to Arya and Ezra. He's listening to her conversations, and it's It's really sketchy. And then she gets called into his office, and they did this terrible thing. She goes into the office, gets called in, and he says that an anonymous tipster has come forward with pictures and evidence saying that she and Ezra were sleeping together. And then he's like, and in the state of Pennsylvania, that is completely illegal. It's a felony. So Ezra Fitz is going to jail. But then it goes back to Arya sitting out in front of Vice Principal's office waiting to go in, and it shows that that was like just in her head. But I was flipping a shit because Ezra cannot go to prison. Arya decides to tell him that she wants to see other people so that she can help him move on and not get him in trouble, and she's being a good person and doing the right thing, but I just really want them to be together. Paige tells Emily that she got into Stanford and she wants her to go with her, and Emily agrees because they're like, let's get away from Rosewood. If we go to college in California, we'll be so far away. I don't think they're gonna get there. It's such a terrible thing to say. I'm such a pessimist. I don't think they're gonna get there. They're saying it in the first episode of the season. They're not gonna make it. Jenna makes an interesting point that everyone who saw Allie the night that she died is ending up dead. And Jenna also saw her that night. Well, she didn't see her because she was blind Jenna then. So I wonder if that doesn't count. Maybe she'll be okay. At Wilden's funeral, Spencer thinks there's something in his casket, so she decides to go snooping around the casket. By this point in time, Spencer Hastings, you ought to know better than to go snooping around a dead body that you are most likely going to get questioned for. They're going to get questioned in Wilden's death because it was very obvious that he didn't like them and they would have had something to gain from him being dead. So why in the hell at his funeral would you go and be found like snooping around his casket and leaving your DNA everywhere? Stupid. At the funeral, Jenna's wearing sunglasses again, so is blind Jenna back, or is she trying to protect herself? Who knows? I don't. We find out after the funeral that all of the girls are going to be questioned in both Wilden and Garrett's deaths. Uh-oh. A could frame them for this so easily, as per usual. The episode ends with us seeing the woman who was walking in the black lace veil at the funeral. She takes off the veil and reveals this mask, and she turns to the side and the whole side is burned. What does it mean? I don't know. It's crazy. So many things. It was a great first episode. I really enjoyed it. If you watched The Bachelorette or Pretty Little Liars, let me know what you thought about this week's episodes. What do you think is going to happen next? I would love to talk to you about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again next Thursday with another edition of Spoiler Alert. Bye.